What's up, everybody? Marty Sleva here alongside Scott Lowe.
Hi.
Hi. We're at CES. We're at the Hard Rock.
We are.
Yeah, and we just got some hands-on time with PlayStation Now,
Yeah,
which
that's
just announced at CES. Kaz Hirai brought it out. It's the big kind of streaming initiative. Finally, the Gaikai acquisition really coming to fruition.
Fruits of that labor. It's
Yeah.
coming out.
So tell us a little bit about it.
If you missed the announcement today, PlayStation Now is basically the backwards compatibility capability of the PlayStation 4, but more importantly, a much broader array of devices.
I don't think any of us were really expecting it to be this broad.
Yeah, so you can actually do it with the Vita, you can do it with web-connected Bravia TVs, you can do it with Sony mobile products, and eventually you could do it with non-Sony products, which that is actually the most surprising thing to me.
And we don't know a ton about that, but ostensibly we could be playing PS2, PS3 games on an iPad.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, it's like, it's not so much the specifics of it that is shocking, it's just the general idea that they're even willing to do that.
Sure.
Because so much of the PlayStation brand and so much of console gaming in general is like tied to proprietary hardware and experiences and like kind of honing that all to yourself. In this case, they're seemingly willing to extend it to other smart TVs, other smartphones, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, did they tell you anything about like what sort of a connection you're going to have? I mean, is my 56K going to be able to run these?
Yeah, your AOL dial-up will totally support PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
No, so they are recommending that you do at least 5 megabits per second, which is generally about average for the most average American household. I mean,
the average is only going to go up in the future.
Yeah,
so.
most people probably have more than that. Like, I think in a place like San Francisco or more metropolitan areas, it's probably closer to 15.
Sure.
But, at least that to do it, at least on a Bravia TV or something like a smart, enabled TV, about 720p. Like, so you're not going to get 1080p streaming out of it, but and that's just, for now. They could expand later. They haven't said that, but, who knows with cloud streaming.
Exactly. So they had a couple games on hand at this event. They had Puppeteer, Beyond Two Souls, God of War Ascension, and Last of Us.
Great.
And you got to play The Last of Us on a Bravia TV.
Yeah, so I played The Last of Us. I played a little bit of Beyond Two Souls, although you apparently don't play. You don't play games very much on that on that game. I found out. It's my first time playing it. But yeah, I mean, the big thing here is the visual experience, the control experience. I've been playing next gen for so much recently that kind of took me aback to see current or last gen in this case playing again. But there was an additional layer of compression. Yeah. You're not going to get that uncompressed experience. Stuff's not going to look as sharp.
Sure.
And I'm assuming depending on your connection, it's going to look worse. But overall, it didn't look bad.
No, not at all. Yeah. And it's one of those things like, I don't know, when you pop in a DVD now instead of a Blu-ray, you kind of like go, oh man, and then after 5 minutes I stop caring.
Yeah.
I don't notice it.
Exactly.
Was there like a latency with controls at all?
I mean, it was tough to tell with something like The Last of Us, which is already kind of like a slower shooter. Like your actions on screen aren't as twitch as something like like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or something like that. Like you're definitely, it's harder to tell whether what was the Gaikai side of things and what side was the gameplay experience. And
again, this hasn't even hit beta yet.
Yeah.
So.
But even then, it was still very playable. Like it didn't seem. It wasn't distracting or experience diminishing in any way.
So I got to play a little bit of Last of Us and a little bit of God of War on a Vita.
Yeah.
And again, I was really impressed by how that looked. I mean, Vita screen is gorgeous, and anything that's lost in the compression, I don't think you're going to notice.
Yeah, on a screen that small.
Yeah. Both games looked great. Both games controlled great. My one problem was that again, you'd be able to fudge this up in the menu a little bit, but I got fat hands.
So I got fat hands. Touchpad.
And I kept rubbing against touchpads, so Kratos would be kicking stuff when I didn't want him to. Joel would be crouching and using his sonar.
And that's more of a limitation of the Vita than anything else. Yeah. It's the same thing with remote play on the PS4.
Yeah.
But I mean, I played some God of War as well. It looks really good. God of War in particular looked really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's the other thing. The Last of Us is really dark and kind of drab and boring in that way. At least in some of the early levels of the dark. So it's hard to get that experience. The same way.
Yeah, I thought seeing people play Beyond and playing Puppeteer, both those games look great.
Yeah. And to be totally clear, I love The Last of Us. I think it's a very beautiful
game.
Both of us
do.
I'm not saying it's a boring looking game.
Yeah, great game.
In any case. Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of questions left.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
We don't know how much it's cost. I mean, we know it's going to be an additional fee in addition. I mean, to PlayStation Plus. I mean, I don't know if it's required, but like, they're not talking about it as if it's going to be part of PS Plus. So you're going to need a subscription model to access the games. You can also do a la carte rentals, but they're not talking about the terms of how long that'll be or how much it'll cost.
Sure.
And then release is kind of vague to some degree right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people can get it in beta this month, which is actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean that's a quick launch.
Yeah,
so,
and then full release in the summer for PS3 and PS4, and then sometime after PS Vita, and then Sony Bravia TVs, and then
tablets.
All the mobile stuff will come eventually.
Yeah. This is exciting. This is one of those kind of future of gaming things that really gets me hyped.
Totally.
All right. So for more on Sony, PlayStation Now, and CES, you know where to keep it. IGN.com/CES.